Hello everyone, Mike Levin, March 5th, 2015, second video I'm shooting today. Almost, if for nothing else, the hopefully last and beautiful snow coming down. And it's Thursday. Hopefully there'll be some of this left over in the weekend for some sledding. Last sledding opportunity of the season. We've got a wonderful sledding hill right down here on Inwood Hill Park where a lot of the kids go, and a lot of my pictures with Addie came from. And I started my last video talking about the outline I was doing for Pipulate, and then got distracted on some of the internals of the program. And so I thought I'd go through outlines, outlining, and the outline. So the top level, you always want to flesh out first because it's your overarching story arc, excuse me. And that's going to be collect data magically, kind of like the opening slide. And then you're in spreadsheets anyway, you use them, it's where everything exports to. And so why not collect the data right from there? Well, there's different approaches to it, but nothing gives you all the variations of things you think you might need to do. So the second point is, no matter what you think you need to do, you either have it available in a library, you can write it yourself in an easy language called programming, or you can turn to the community and ask for it, because this is a GitHub project and it's already acquiring quite a bit of following between GitHub and these videos and the SEO circles. There's going to be what I believe to be an amazing library of capabilities in there, and easy to expand to boot. And so that's the first point, collect data magically. The second point, you work in spreadsheets anyway, that's where you are, and now with the web spreadsheets you can collaborate. And then the third point is, anything that you need to collect, you pretty much can. And then the fourth point is, once you're happy with the job, and I can show the principles of it. The fourth point, I guess, will be, here's how you do it. Fill in a couple of column names, create some question marks, hit the Pipulate button, and bam, your data is collected into your spreadsheet. So that's the fourth point. Fifth point is time to schedule it. Replace your question marks with asterisks, invite in pipulate@gmail.com, and bam, it's scheduled. Every time you check it, it will have the data newly collected and inserted into a new row according to the job recurrence schedule under the configuration tab. Oh, well, there's stuff you need to know. The next point, look at this documentation tab. Here's a link to this very presentation. Here's a link to a Google Doc about the system. And it's almost like a table of contents. Really, you want to go this way, dog? All right, no way. Welcome to my life. I talked about Bouviers on previous videos. I mean, it's the same with all dog ownership, but basically, people want to treat their dogs like humans and like entertain their desires. And oops, I dropped my poo bags. I got to pick those up. But the truth is, dogs are pack animals, and pack animals sometimes need to be led. If you let them stop and sniff every time they want to stop and sniff, you will never get inside. If you let them choose the way they walk, you will always be meandering around the neighborhood forever. And so you have to be the pack leader. You have to be the dominant dog. And that's hard enough with gentler breeds, but with strong-willed, intelligent breeds like Bouviers, sometimes it's more of a mutual cooperation than it is outright submissive training. Who wants a broken dog? You want something that, maintains it's innate intelligence. So that's my Bouvier tangent for this morning. And let's see, anything more about the Pipulate video before I wind this thing down and get to work? Okay, this walk we can do. We have one short walk around the Park Terrace Gardens building complex. There's 5 interconnected buildings here with an inner garden, and it's a short walk when I give Cecil the short walk. And sometimes I throw the short walk on top of the long walk just so that he gets a little more and I get a little more exercise, and in case he's got any business to finish. And so, Pipulate, final issues or topics. Oh, I don't want to get into all the really cool stuff in how you can run this locally in an instant, but I do want to mention it. Download this, you run your own private instance, you can start to pick it apart, see how it works. It's free and open source. It's got this tiny 60 megabyte total footprint. You'll hardly even know you'll have it on your system. It doesn't require an install. You don't need admin rights, but bam, you've got a server on your desktop and you're running this thing on your own instance, and you just get a bookmarklet that is connected to localhost instead of a domain. And it's going to be slow, and if that's not good enough for you, you can install it on your desktop directly natively, whether you have a Mac, Windows, or Linux desktop. And it'll be a lot faster, but it'll still only be working on your desktop, and it won't have those scheduling features. But if you want to set up your own instance that's always running and always available, you can stick it on the cloud. You can stick it on a Raspberry Pi. And either way, it's low cost. You have your own dedicated instance and high level of reliability. And, you know, I already said low cost, but I have to point out that's low cost both for the server and for not having to pay for these social media monitoring data collection services, which are sometimes enormously expensive, and the main barrier to entry for people trying to get into the social media field, and certainly the SEO field, with position tracking being so expensive these days from companies like BrightEdge and Conductor. And systems like this will be able to do SEO system tracking, probably up to 100 keywords per day, certainly per week, or a 2-day cycle, and give you, you know, the rudimentary top-level must-have items that you need when, you know, becoming an SEO or social media independent consultant and not ready to spend the big bucks. So that's a lot of points there in that third thing. I don't know how many points I'll break that over in, but, you know, I got to get across that, you know, this is the coming together of the free and open source world and the get started with programming world and the SEO social media world, and probably a few others. Being a YouTube communicator, that's probably like social media, but it's a wicked Venn diagram of things that my work covers. And maybe I'll put that Venn diagram in the picture saying, if you are any one of these circles, stay and watch this video. If you're 2 or more of the circles, have I got something for you? And hey, maybe I'll even open with my albino corn snake saying, I've got some snake oil to sell you, right? Because SEO is dead. That'll be a good hook, get lots of people interested. Anyway, I'll stop there. 2 videos in the snow this morning, but I think I've thought through my points pretty well, and that'll lead into a PowerPoint-like deck, which will lead into an actual YouTube tutorial video, which will both be linked from in the internal build-in documentation, and the whole thing becomes circular and hopefully takes on that snowballing effect once it gets noticed and talked about in Reddit and such. And it'll never crash from scaling because it's distributed. Yay! Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe.